Hello and good evening. Hashtag our global AERA GSC family. I am Dre Abeita, coyote walking in this world and real life Aslado Pueblo superhero, also a two-spirited indigenous warrior from the pueblos of Laguna, Acoma, and Isleta, as well as having roots in the Philippines. I am proud to be the chair of the American Education Research Association Graduate Student Council, and I am here this evening with my fellow superheroes. I'm here to introduce my brother, Pablo.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pablo Montes, and I am the Senior Program Chair for AERA. I'm also a PhD candidate at the University of Texas at Austin. Super excited to chat with you all today, and I'll pass it down to Roti, who is our Division D representative.
Hi everyone and good afternoon. I am Roti Chakraborty and I'm junior representative for Division D AERA, and I'm also a Dean's Research Doctoral Fellow at the Georgia State University, and I'm an international student, so I'm from Bangladesh. It's a South Asian country, and looking forward to talking with you all today. Thank you for joining.
We're going to go ahead and get started, family. And please forgive this coyote. Technology is not my strong suit, but we are going to go ahead and get ready. So today you have been joining us with the AERA GSC September Fireside Chat. And don't forget, family, we do this at the end of every month. Not only are we offering you some sort of webinar or panel, we have featured the international experience from our graduate students in July regarding COVID and the amazing work that they're doing. Additionally, we also had a training on how to prepare your own AERA conference proposal. So we are proud to have our third webinar tonight, family, and it is how to plan your own AERA Fireside Chat or general academic panel from beginning to success. And again, family, I am Drea Beta, your chair, here with my amazing fellow officers. Before we get started, family, I would also, I'm sorry. Sorry, Pablo, it's on to you.
You're good. So we do have some openings for nominations for officers until October 12th. Currently, there is 5 positions that are open. So we are actively seeking for nominations for these open officer positions. Our first is our chair-elect, which Dre has, is our current chair. So Dre will transition into past chair next year. So therefore, our chair-elect will be someone who will be joining us next year. And usually it is a 3-year term. We have junior campus outreach coordinator, junior newsletter editor, secretary historian, and social media and website editor. I believe we'll put in the chat the link to the description of all of these positions. So please feel free to look through the details of what these positions entail to see if that is something that you'd be interested in doing and participating in. So Dre, do you have the link to those position descriptions, and we can go ahead and put it in the chat?
Absolutely. I do apologize. One moment. This is going to be dropped in the chat right now. As well, family, please visit us on the website. It is aera.net. And this is just to give you a gander at the GSC elections that Pablo just went over. The nitty gritty. So here's chair-elect. It's mostly running the organization, family, but you're coordinating the resource center, you're chairing the fireside chats, you're going to the council meetings, and really the number one powerhouse, or the reason why chair is so important, is that you actually get a seat on the council. So the American Education Research Association is the world's largest international and most influential educational institution in the world, family. Literally, we are representing over 7,000 graduate students from around the world. But our membership, when we have an annual conference, 10 to 15,000 people come to our conferences. Here's the junior newsletter editor position. We have two amazing editors right now. We got Amanda and Judith who keep us well informed, make sure that we get all the information going out to all of our members. Then we have secretary historian here. They come to all of our meetings, they take notes, they help coordinate, they record everything. It's a great position. It doesn't have as big of a time commitment. So if you're thinking that you want to, dip your toe in something, the secretary historian position right here is a great place to start. In addition, we have the social media and website editor. We would love, love, love to hear your ideas on how to expand our social media network, on how to make our website a usable tool. What we've really tried to do this year, family, is that we're actually using these webinars as a library. So every time we have a training, we want to make sure we're adding value back to your AERA membership because we know that your pennies, literally, they count, family. As graduate students, as undergraduate students, as parents, as community members, as aunties and uncles, we got bills to pay. But we also have to balance how important it is to be part of professional organizations like AERA, because this literally is a global network that can support you, family. So what we're trying to do here at AERA GSC is to make sure that we're adding value for your membership and giving you resources to be successful. So the Junior Campus Outreach Coordinator is also incredibly important, family. And what they're doing is that we have over 37 different campus reps, and they are currently being wrangled by our amazing team of Tanjin and Lupe. And what it is, family, is that this program was created 2 years ago. And what it is that our goal at AERA GSC is to literally have representation at every single campus. And I believe that we can do it, family, because what we're doing is we're letting a family grow. We're also sharing the resources that we have, and we have grants for you. We have doctoral grants, we have research grants, and we also have 12 amazing divisions who are doing their own events, family. It's like a huge global network, and there's always something to do. And we would love for you to join our family, either as an officer in one of these amazing positions, or in joining us either as a campus rep or as a SIG rep. Let's go ahead and go on to our next segment. So I literally asked my amazing superheroes here to share their experiences with you, family, because this work is really a labor of love. We do not get paid. There is a small stipend of, I believe it's $250 for the elected positions. And those are the positions that we just saw, family. But the other positions do not come with a stipend. Unfortunately, we do not cover travel expenses, but this is a labor of love. And if you are going into academia, if you're going into research, having the experience of attending these professional conferences literally is a line item when you apply for jobs. If you're applying for a tenure track position, they will ask you what organizations you volunteered for. They'll ask you what organizations you presented your research at. And this is one of the most recognizable. It literally is an investment in your future, family. So let's go ahead and ask our officers, literally, why did you initially run for a position on AERA GSC, and why do you continue to volunteer your time? What do you think, family?
Okay, I can start. So I started my PhD in fall 19, and before that, my last job was as a program coordinator for a outreach and continuing education program in a private university in my country. So I had this passion already that I want to coordinate programs. I want to be a part of these kinds of things. And AERA, I have been known for this organization since my undergrad in my country. So I have always followed AERA's task, research, everything. So when I joined, my advisor, my professor was the first person who advised me to registers for AERA. And when she was a grad student, she was doing her PhD. She was also a part of this kind of activities, and she ran for the officer positions and everything. And she is actually the one who motivated me to be a part of this kind of things. And when So when I started in frontlining, that was my first time, and that time I had no scope to run for any position. So I started to follow AERA's emails and everything, and then I realized that yeah, I can be a part of this. So because when I'm doing my PhD, I know that my university has that potential capabilities to develop me as an academic person. But if I want to be developed as a professional, can be my place. So I wanted to develop myself as an academician, professional, and everything. And I think AERA is the best place because it has a huge team, huge network, and all kind of activities. So you can just name it, whether it is academic or profession, like this kind of program and everything. So yeah, that's why I just joined, and I started as the graduate student representative for membership committee. So that was my first position. Then I selected as the junior rep for Division D, and I am now doing it. And it's not actually that AERA is giving me and I'm growing, I'm also giving. So that's what the point is, because when you have that confidence that you have the capability to give something, to help someone, to contribute somewhere, it grows your confidence. So that's why I think that was the first thing that I considered AERA to apply for. Pablo, what was your intentions?
Yeah, so I think it's a mix between Dre and what you mentioned, Roti. I wanted to I wanted to just meet other grad students who are not a part of my institution. I feel like sometimes we get really siloed off into just knowing who your program and the folks at your university. And for me, my goal is to be a professor one day. Slash, I'm applying to jobs now. So I knew that just meeting others elsewhere. So I saw it also as like a way to network and just see other awesome scholars who are doing really amazing work that I may have never have met if it wasn't for just the huge network that AERA has. And at the same time, I've been to a conference myself and knowing that there's work to do at conferences like this that are very large and oftentimes not accessible, right? So I wanted to also just be in conversation as how we can make this, organization accessible, that it's being conscientious of things that are going on in the world, in education. So, so those were some of the reasons why I decided to join. And I've met some really, really amazing people so far. And yeah, I've enjoyed my experience.
Thank you guys so much. That's amazing. This is our global family. And just so you know, we are literally trying to change policy. We're trying to make AERA a space for everyone, regardless of color, creed, citizenship, language. We literally want this space to be our space. I'm always telling everyone, it may be the American Education Research Association family, but we as Americans send our children out into the world to be educated, and the whole world sends their leaders, their children, their hope to us to get educated. So our family is international, and we are represented all around the world, family. So seriously, if you've been to AERA before and you're like, nah, that's not a place for me, we are changing the culture, family, but we need your help to do it. So let's go to question number 2, family, before we continue with our webinar tonight, which is our main event. But seriously, family, we need you. Please submit your nominations October 12th. And I got to be honest, family, this is our second call. So we did a call and we did not have the passionate flood of nominations that we know is out there, family. I know you've been thinking about it, and I know the world seems crazy, because believe me, it is, right? COVID was crazy and messed us up all in different ways, but the recovery time is just as rough on us, family. So I know you have kids, you've got homework, you got GA ships. You're like, what? This coyote's crazy. She wants me to volunteer. I'm going to tell you why, family. Because the networks that you have here are going to be with you your whole life. When you sign on to Team Coyote to literally change the world through humanizing educational change, we mean it. We literally are spending our time providing these events, providing these networks, and we need your help, family. So I'm just saying, what are you doing with the rest of your life? I'm changing the world with these badass superheroes. So join us. All right, question number 2, family. What has your experience with AERA GSC been like? And how do you think it's going to help you professionally? I know you kind of touched on that, but literally Pablo is in the crucial moment of job searching. And seriously, family, I don't know about you guys, but it seems like our tenure track positions, our professional positions, our dreams seem like they're kind of the options are becoming more and more fewer and far between. So what do you guys think? How do you think that this experience could really help give them an edge when it comes to the rest of life?
I can go ahead and start this one off. But well, as for what my experience has been like so far, so it's interesting, right? Because last year I worked, or the chair was Tessa, and now this year is our chair Dre. So it's just been really fun to like see the different ways and envisionings that each chair has, and like what they wish for and what they hope for. So that's been really neat. Just working with the past chair and now Dre for our current chair, and just like what things are like we need to still do, right? So it's been really really great in that sense. And yeah, and just like I guess transitioning into the senior program chair, I now know a little more because AERA does seem like this huge institution that there's so much going on that you kind of don't know where to start or where to go, right? So I think the last year was learning about AERA itself, kind of how it works, um, where I fit and how it works. And I think this year has, or at least stepping into this role now has been easier because I spent last year, just kind of understanding what AERA looks like, what goes into a conference, right? There's just so much that I didn't know that goes into conferences, the planning, the organizing, the getting getting speakers, doing this, doing that. So it's also just given me some really valuable skills on how to go about thinking about like conferences that maybe in the future I would like to plan, right, at my respective institution. So yeah, so that's kind of some of the experiences, how it will help me professionally and or personally. Well, hopefully if I apply to a job and they're like, oh my God, I saw them at AERA, last year because of the fireside chat that they did, or the invited speaker session that they did, or something like that. So again, the networking piece is crucial to that. But yeah, I mean, to me, I just always think that networking and meeting other graduate students is probably the best thing for me, because I mean, one, these are going to be your future colleagues, right? So they'll remember you when you're out there in the world, and they're like, oh yeah, we were in AERA the GSC together. I know who they are, I know their work, I know where where they want to take it, and all that. So I think for me that's really valuable, and just listening to other graduate students and their experiences has been really, one, humbling, and two, just grounding in the sense that we're not all alone in this mess, and that we, although we may feel unsupported at sometimes at our own institutions, that we have a huge global network of graduate students who would support each other. So yeah, so that's kind of a little bit about some of my experiences so far with GSC.
And if I say my one, so I am going to break it down into 3 points. So the first of all, these positions with AERA is going to give you honor, brings for you honor, happiness, and confidence. So if I take my example, when I informed my department, my university department, and my professors that I have been selected for this position, they were so happy that they sent out a written congratulation to the peer to publish it on our website, and it's under reviewing, and they will publish it soon. And I'm the first one from my country as an international student being a part of these officer positions in AERA. And be sure that in the upcoming years you are going to have a lot of international students from Bangladesh who will run for these positions, because they are already asking me that how to join and how to do all these of things. So see, when you can feel that you are contributing to something, it obviously brings confidence for you. So it's going to help you all, and it's going to help me a lot in my future things. Second thing is that the networking opportunity, it's a huge, it's just not network, I will call it as a family. So if you are someone who is living alone here, you have one family, your university, that's your first family. And be sure that if you are part of this AERA, this is going to be your another family. You will going to have a lot of friends who are the doctoral students. You are going to have mentors who are faculty members and who are professionals in renowned organizations. And when you are going for jobs, there is possibility that you know someone from somewhere, and if you know the name, or if you can find out that that person is also from AERA, you can just send an email, and that's a huge. It doesn't matter that if you have met him or her ever face to face, but when you are sending the email that I am also a part of this AERA family officially, that's huge. So this network is not only network, it's a family. I have got a family here. And third is the professional development. That's the most, I think, important thing. So as Pablo mentioned, that we are organizing this conference, and trust me, I didn't realize before entering this position that is going to that much huge. So when I'm doing this, I am amazed with my works that yeah, I'm doing something. And if you follow the profiles of all the faculty members, you will find that somewhere in life somehow they contributed to all of these activities. So yeah, that's going to be a huge thing if you want to be a faculty members, if you want to join any research organization or anything. So this is going to be a professional development task for you, because AER is preparing us. They are like Dre is mentoring me, my senior rep Cynthia is mentoring me. So I am learning a lot. I am learning a lot from all of my colleagues. What are their research is going on, and you are going to have ideas and everything. So yeah, that's what my experience is so far. And just jump in. It's a roller coaster, undoubtedly, no doubt, but it's going to be a happy one with a excellent family.
I couldn't have said it better. My two siblings here knocked it out of the park, family. So literally come visit our website, aera.net. Look at the descriptions, figure out what you think you might be able to help us with. Because like my sis said, we are a global family, and the more the merrier. So real quick to switch gears before our webinar, if a main position, right, one of the elected positions wasn't a perfect fit for you, then we have two more offers. One is going to be an AERA campus rep. And this literally is our goal, again, to blanket the world, right, the globe, with our amazing graduate students. So what we have right now is campus reps is a program. There are two campus reps. We're revamping it, and they'll be the president and vice president of the actual club. So you'll be our club literally on your university campus. And what it allows you to do, family, is it allows you to apply for funding to attend our annual conference. And this coyote knows that it actually takes a lot of money. I took 3 groups successfully, Toronto, San Antonio, New York City, of my classmates, because we literally did. We rallied together and asked the UNM GPSA. I'm currently a 9th year doctoral candidate at the University of New Mexico. And we asked for pockets of money. And the university paid for the $1,800, $1,200 hotel rooms that we had. That we did grocery runs, and we'd literally to San Antonio, we got in a car and we drove and we shared gas. So literally what you can create is your own family. We are your global family, but what we're trying to do actually is create communities at every campus. Because family, we know higher education is an adventure and a battle. We are literally modern day warriors getting our education in the hopes that this investment is going to pay off in the future. And so that's not always easy. If you have your own campus group on your campus that is part of AERA, what it allows you to do is to literally take what we're offering and feed it to your colleagues, right? So take back the webinars we're doing. We have study groups, we have writing groups, we have panels happening everywhere. You're going to be taking all of that value directly back to your campus as the president potentially of your own club, right? So that is, again, one opportunity we have to literally be a campus rep for your university. Please email us at gradstudentsaera@gmail.com, and I will forward that to our amazing campus rep coordinators, Tanjin and Lupe. The second ask, family, is if you are already a member of a special interest group. So if you're already an AERA member, when you sign up, you get two different distinctions. One is a division that you get to pick, and another is a special interest group. So we have 24 division reps as part of our council, and each division gets 2 reps, a junior and a senior. But in addition to that, family, there is an untapped resource out there in the form of 20 plus SIG reps, which are again the special interest group. So this coyote belongs to the Critical Educators for Social Justice SIG group. We could potentially have up to 2 graduate members. It is an entire new body, family. We have 20 reps out there right now, and we are currently writing them into our government. So again, this is a brand new program. If you would love more information on becoming a SIG rep, please just email us again, gradstudentsaera@gmail.com, and we will find out, one, if your SIG already has a rep and we will connect you, or two, help you find your VP to actually make you the official rep. So again, we're recruiting campus reps as well as special interest group reps. Okay, now for the main event, family. How to plan your own AERA Fireside Chat / academic panel from beginning to success.
Okay, so I'm going to describe this one. So for our step 1 is, what is my topic? How do you decide on a topic to focus on for your fireside chat or any academic planet? So first of all, brainstorm ideas, find out the ideas, think about it, what you want to work on. And when you have a few ideas, or you can group few ideas, just send out the emails to your groups for feedback that if these ideas seem interesting. And if you want to know that how can I find out ideas that is going to be suitable, so the sources can be look around you, look at the news and your educational organizations. So look around and find out that what are the current topics that are affecting the graduate student, what are the current topics that graduate students are interested about. For example, for the upcoming AERA annual meeting, division D is doing fireside chat on how to pursue your research in the non-academic career path. So if you are a doctoral candidate, or if you are the person that who is going to start job searching, then this is a great option for you, because you will go to know various options and you can talk with the experts. So just find out which topic is most important to your division or your graduate student or your community right now. And you can also find out your interest, that what drives your own work, and what are the local, state, or national options, and be inspired by real life. What concerns do you have, and how would you start to address them? And when you have all these ideas, just group them and go for the feedback, ask for your help, and discuss with your teams, and discuss and then finalize the topic. So that's all, that how can you find out your topic.
Thank you so much for that amazing information. I just wanted to take a second to check the chat to see anyone in the audience if they had any questions for us at this time. And again, family, you can always go ahead and email us at Oh my gosh, family. My brain just, I can't remember our email. What's our email, family?
It's gradstudentsaera@gmail.
Thank you so much. Grad students AERA@gmail. I am dropping that in the chat right now, family. And it is on several of our website slides. But any information you have that was great about a topic, and I would ask you to think big, family. There's lots of stuff out there that we can discover, lots of questions for us. So think huge. We have a world to change, family. We have a world to change. Okay. I lost the PowerPoint, family. Hold on.
All right. I'll there is a question, Dre, just FYI. So maybe after this one you can address it in the Q&A. But yeah, so for step 2, really is just understanding some of the details and logistics of the AERA annual conference. As many of you probably already know, it's going to be in San Diego this year. As planned, it is going to be like they will be hosting it in San Diego still, but of course, just being mindful of checking in to see if there's any changes on that because of the continued global health crisis that we live in. So just keep an eye out on that in case things do change, but just being aware of like the dates and where it's going to be. So the conference and event details and also just like where in the city it's going to be, for folks to make their travel arrangements, if they're going to need a car, if they're going to need a hotel or Airbnb or whatever they would like to do, and sharing the title of the event or of the panel that you're inviting your speakers to, especially if if they're your advisors, or if they're folks. It's always just nice to know what exactly they're being invited to, and what kind of questions and things they will be discussing in the event. So just trying to give them as much information so they can make the best decision on whether or not they're able to attend, or how to prepare when they do go. And some of the benefits to them is these are not actually set in stone, but we are trying to create some type of like honorarium, trying to waive some of the conference fees to invite folks who may traditionally not be able to go to conferences like this, because as we know, we do have to pay for our own membership, for our own registration, and then traveling to San Diego, and having housing over there. It all adds up. So it's not confirmed at this point that we're able to provide those things. Traditionally, we never have, right? But last year we were able to push a little, and we were able to make small changes on that, to where we're trying on our end to make sure that this is accessible to those who will be presenting and who will be panelists on these types of sessions. So yeah, so it's really important to have representation and participation from different people, from different communities. So that is what we're hoping to do. But yeah, so just step 2, just really knowing the details of what you're asking your panelists and giving them the most amount of details that you possibly can, so they can make the best decision on the panel. So yeah.
Thank you so much. April, I think it has an ability for you to ask the question live. Is that what I think it's asking me to do? Do you want to ask a question? Okay, maybe.
Do you not see the?
It does not allow you to do that. Sorry,
Oh.
family. I'm still new to this Zoom thing, so I thought it would allow her to speak. I guess not. All right, April has an amazing question. She says, if you're interested in more than one position, would you recommend applying for both of them or just the top choice? Family, we literally had that happen last year where our amazing chair-elect Andy applied for both two positions. I am so grateful, and it was meant to be that she was elected as our chair-elect. But I would say, yes, if two of them speak to you, go for it. Go for both of them. If you really, I would, the one that speaks to you, make sure it has a little extra shine. But definitely, I would not discourage anyone. If you have two positions you want to apply for, please apply. I hope that answers your question, April. Thank you so much. Great question. We will be monitoring the Q&A chat, family. And again, any questions can go to our email. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, here we go. All right. Step 4, filling out the paperwork. That would be moi. So make sure you ask how and in what format you need to submit your information. Every organization, every institution, every event could be different. So you really don't want to be afraid to ask questions. So for our particular event, family, although this is a general training to give you an idea of how to plan your own event from beginning to end, we are going to be using the examples specifically for our organization, AERA GSC. So let me switch the form and actually look at it. So what we have right now is we are looking at the actual form you're going to submit. If you're doing your own event, you might not have to submit anything. But if you're getting funding, or maybe you're doing it for your division or your department, you might have to run it by your advisor. So what I would suggest is, if you don't have a form that you literally have to, submit to someone, creating your own little short form, okay? Because again, you're going to be promoting your event, and you want to make sure that you get as many people to come as possible. The more information, the more attractive your flyers, the wider your social media network, the more listservs that you can access within your own institutions. Having access to our listserv, for example, at AERA GSC, because we have 7,000 members, when we send an email out, 7,000 people get the flyer, they get the information about the grant, right? So again, we know that your pennies count, and we're trying to re-add value back to our membership. So again, if you don't have a form that they give you, think about having your own. So when someone says, hey, what's your event next month about? You can literally say, here you go. So for this particular event, if you are one of our division reps, you have access to this proposal form. So at first, you're going to have session organizers. If you are in an officer position like programming chair, chair-elect, or junior programming representative, you're going to put your name. Instead of division, it would be chair-elect, programming chair, etc. You can also put information like if it's going to be supported by other divisions or other groups. The next section asks about our overview information. So titles, you wouldn't think that would be really important, family, but you'd be surprised how many times I've had to revise my titles over and over again for publication, especially when it comes to conference programmings. So the larger and more frequent you attend larger conferences, educational conferences, American Education Research Association, American Education Studies Association, for this Coyote, the Critical Race and Education Studies Association, they're going to have their own limits. And when they publish the big conference, I don't know if you guys have seen the one for AERA, but it's literally like 1.5 inches thick. It's huge. You have to limit how much people will submit. So you have to make sure that your title is in 15 words, and you have to make sure that your abstract, which will be published, is 120 words. So dear family, if you are currently one of our division reps, these are the most important things, because this two pieces of information are what are actually published in our program. Although we need the rest of this information, the most key and what I want you to focus on, especially with our deadlines coming up, are these two sections. Make sure you have your solid title, and make sure we know what your abstract is, because that's what's going to actually go into your program. The rest of it is absolutely important, but that's the published piece. So this is the nitty gritty, like you want it to be professional, you want to make sure you get your message across, because as well, AERA is a huge conference, which means 10 to 15,000 people come. And we also have hundreds of sessions, literally hundreds, family. that are going on throughout the whole conference. So you want your abstract and your title to be as attractive as possible because you're competing with everyone else. So please be mindful of that, family, when you're writing. Your target audience. If you are a graduate student representative, your target audience usually will be graduate students, literally within your division or your special interest group. But it can also be anyone, right? It could be people who are looking for jobs, people who are early career. What we're basically trying to figure out is who's going to be the best people to invite to your event. Although this is on our form for our information, it's a good thing for you to think about as an event planner, as an organizer, right? If I'm going to be doing a panel on just writing a doctoral dissertation, well, that's going to narrow my audience. If I have a panel on how to apply for jobs during COVID, that is going to have a wider net or more people that I might want to send that flyer to or send those listservs to. So knowing who your target audience is going to be key, family, when it comes to planning your outreach for your event. The next one is description. So this goes back to one of the earlier slides. That was when you're inviting your actual guests, knowing what you're inviting them to. This description part can help you really tease out your ideas, right? What's the purpose and objective of your session? Why are they coming? What are they going to learn when they get there? Or is it more of an experience, right? Under the guidelines of AERA.net, they have different types of actual presentations. So you could have a panel, you could have a symposium, you can literally have a performance or demonstration. So what you want is, again, the sky's the limit, family, but writing down a clear purpose and objective is going to help you, one, narrow down who your speakers are, because the objective of this session is to help graduate students, get jobs during higher education while navigating, etc., etc. But by literally sitting down and writing one or two short paragraphs, it allows you to have laser focus on what your event is. And you'd be surprised, family, that's gold information, because when you're calling people, when you're talking to them on the phone, when you're asking your panelists to give up their time and or money to travel to your conference to give their information and their knowledge and their wisdom to us, they want to know what they're getting themselves into. So again, description, very important. As well as, again, another option was performance or demonstration. Say you're going to have a workshop on activism on the ground and you're going to incorporate some sort of art element, right? Or you're going to do photo voice, and you want people to make sure they have a cell phone so they can record something or take pictures. This is where you put that information, because again, it's going to help you recruit people and literally tell us what's going to happen in your session. So again, family, start with your title, make sure it's appealing because you'll be marketing and you are competing with other sessions. And if you're not preparing for AERA, but you're just preparing for your own event, it still applies, family. Because when you're in a community, I'm at the University of New Mexico, not only am I the president or the chair of AERA GSC, but I'm also the president of the Society of Native American Graduate and Undergraduate Students. There are between 5 and 7 other chartered Indigenous student orgs. And guess what? We're all doing our own events and we're at one university. So imagine that, family. At one university, our events are still competing. So when you multiply that and go out in the world, we want this change to happen, but we also want to make sure that we bring people to our event. So let's do the groundwork and make sure we're successful. Description, title, abstract. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. You've got your title. It's really attractive. It's within 15 words. You think it's going to bring in lots of people. You figured out who your audience is. You've got your listservs ready. You know what colleges you're going to target. You know what divisions you're going to target. You know what special interest groups you're going to target. You've finished your description. You know what your purpose objective is. You know what you're going to do during the session. You finished an abstract. So let's get down to your panelists. Again, family, make sure you know the format of your event. For our sessions in particular, they are 90 minutes long. So you don't want to overload your audience and invite 5 to 8 people, because they're not going to have enough time to really tell about their research, to tell about their life, to tell about their activism. So you want to take into account how long you actually have for them to present. I would suggest, if you got about an hour, I would stay between 3 and 4 panelists. Additionally, family, in academia, when you invite a group to present their research, they might be one group out of your 3 panelists, but they themselves might have 4 speakers within their group. So you also want to be mindful of that and juggle that as time management. So be mindful of how many groups you invite, because that's 2 different things. You could have a topic like critical race education and the attack on ethnic studies. So there's an attack of critical race, but really it's an attack on ethnic studies right now. So say you want to invite a research group from Marced, from the state of Arizona. Well, they might have 4 or 5 different people. So if that really is your intention, instead of getting 4 or 5 different research groups, you might just want to invite one group and have multiple people speak. So again, find out what your ideas are, what your target group is, but I would suggest at the end of the day, regardless as if you divided them into different panelists or different topics, or if you just invited 3 or 4 different individuals, I would make sure that you physically have no more than 4 to 5 people to speak, because it gets really complicated after that, family. So when you're looking at your invited speakers, have your lists, but I would start with 3 to 6, right? As it says right here, 3 to 6 people. But just remember, if you say, hey, research group, you're awesome, they might bring 4 or 5 different people. So ask that, and that's important to communicate how much time you have, how many other speakers you have, and what they really should prepare for. All right, the next one, family, is going to be the list of chairs or discussants. So for AERA specifically, and for most professional and academic conferences, you're going to have your panelists, who are your main speakers, and you also have a chair or discussant who is going to lead your discussion. They have guiding questions, they introduce you, and they basically run the show. What we're basically doing tonight. So if you are a division rep, or if you have an officer position currently at AERA GSC, you would be listed as the chair or discussant. So I am hosting the grad social for AERA GSC. I'm going to stick my name here, Dre Abeita, my affiliation, my role as chair, my email, and then I have been confirmed, I hope I come from an event family, as the chair. So again, if you are an officer, this is the form you're going to fill out, where you're going to put the names of the people you've invited. Affiliations are going to be their universities, or say you're doing a graduate student panel on undocumented or first generation graduate students. Their affiliation could be a university, or maybe they're an activist of the community. It could be a church, it could be a nonprofit organization, or affiliation could vary here. So that's what that is. Position, that would be their actual job title. And I would, again, family, this is going to be published in the conference manual. So I would verify with your panelists how they would like it to appear, their email, and whether or not you have confirmed, whether or not they have confirmed, right? Did you just invite them? Hey, I just sent them an email, or have they said, yes, I'm confirmed, and I will be there. Again, family, just to let you know, we do not have the final conference program set in stone until very December, closer to the end of the year. So at this time, when you are inviting your panelists, unfortunately, you have to give them the date range. So you have to say between the 22nd to the 25th, because we do not have an exact date for them. So please, again, family, if you are planning your event for a specific day, make sure you let them know. If you're planning for something that's bigger, that's over a range of days like AERA, unfortunately, that's what we have to work with. So just make sure you're incredibly transparent with your panelists, with your invitees, family, that you may or may not have that specific information on hand for them, depending on your particular event. And if you are an AERA GSC rep, please let us know as the programming team or me as your chair if you need help with this. If you need help sending out those informations, or if you need help brainstorming, hey, I want a critical race theorist, but I don't know who to ask. Hey, I need someone who does work right now with activism and communities in Madagascar. We will find out, right? So again, ask for help. We have lots of resources. We have an entire global network of family. So let's use our combined superhero brain power. All right, family, if you are a division or officer, this is another thing you have to fill out. Estimated attendees. So how many people? You could just estimate it, 3 to 20, right? If you're doing something a little bit smaller, a little more targeted, like the art event I was mentioning, you could say, well, we only have supplies for 30. So we hope 30 people come. After that, scheduling request. This is, again, particular to AERA, but this is asking for just information. So session format, again, is it going to be a moderated panel? Are you going to need Zoom breakout rooms? I have no idea what Padlet, Kahoot, Aha, Slides, Nearpod, or Google Suite products are, but we use them. And if you need them, this is the appropriate place to put that request. Again, family, I am not guaranteeing that they will be supplied, but having an advanced notification of what you need will allow us to get time to see if we can get it for you. Scheduling requests. Sometimes people are saying, well, I'm already scheduled for 3 other panels. So they might put that information here and say, I'm also doing the Fireside Chat. I'm also doing the panel on critical race theory, and I'm also doing, the community building. So putting those notes here will allow us on the back end to try to make sure that we're not overscheduling you. The last one is panelist requests. We apologize. I apologize. I just had the council meeting before this webinar, family, and I had not turned on the closed captioning. And that is an issue. We're trying to make this as accessible, and I'm going to make sure I put that down on my notes. But translators, things like closed captioning or having ASL interpreters, making sure that they have tech, all of those types of requests would be noted here. And yes, ASL is something we do provide, and we would love to make sure that we can make your visit to our conference as accessible as possible. Let me check the Q&A real quick. Let's go ahead and keep on going to the next slide. Okay, so that's filling out the paperwork. Again, don't forget to ask them on how that would work. At this time, I am going to go ahead. Pablo, is now the time? Okay, our amazing superhero brother here has realized that he has to go help wrangle. So why don't you go ahead and say goodbye? And do you have any last words for us, brother?
Thanks, Dre. Last words is to apply to some of the positions that we have open. Again, it's really awesome. You'll get to meet a really good bunch of folks out here, and then you'll get to meet them at AERA the following year, or even if you do apply and all goes well, we'll be able to meet each other in not San Francisco. That was 2 years ago. San Diego. But all right, y'all, it was lovely, chatting with you all. I hope this has been useful, and hopefully we'll see you in the future.
Thank you so much. Okay, next we have step 5, following up with our speakers. So the next one, family, after you've sent out the invitation, right? So you have done all the hard work. You figured out what your topic is. You've figured out what your guiding questions are. You've started filling out all the forms. You're starting to edit your abstracts. You've figured out who you want to ask, right? So you sent out the email, and let's go ahead and look at that example. We have an amazing example of what that would look like, family. So how do you do this? How do you invite someone to come speak for you on a panel? We have an amazing resource for you, family. If you email me, I can send a version of this to you. It's basically saying, good morning, I am this person, this is my role. And again, family, this is in particular for our conference, but if you are planning any sort of general event, you would just do the same thing. So I am the president of Society of Native American Graduate and Undergraduate Students, NAGUS, at UNM. If I was doing, and I will be doing events, family, this semester, I would put in here that I was the president of that organization. So again, the nitty gritty of this is you want to tell them who you are, what your role is officially, and what you're inviting them to. Now it's talking about what the fireside chats are. It's a forum for scholars and professionals in the field to provide insights to current and recent doctoral students regarding a range of academic and career pursuits. So it says this is giving us some format to fill in what our division is about. So again, family, right now this is a training for our division reps who are planning their own individual sessions. Each division has their own topic, their own focus, and their own interests. So this again allows them to talk about what their particular division is interested in. And then it says what our topic is going to be for this year, what the format is going to be, what they hope to come out with from the session. So this is where we're going to plug in that other nitty-gritty information that we've already decided on, which was what we had talked about here. Who's our audience? What is our objectives? What are they going to learn? This is all coming from what you've already prepared, family. So please do not worry about writing your invitation because you're basically copying and pasting from what you've already written out and prepared. And then it says, I and whoever my colleague is would like for you to come. I would update the information regarding the year. And you can also add information like the themes, right? So this is, again, a very bare bones, generic format, but the nitty gritty of it, family, is you want to tell them who you are, what you represent, what you're inviting them for, while also highlighting the benefits again, right? I have no shame, family. I always have to ask people for donations, for their time, to volunteer their expertise, but I always remind them why I'm asking, because sharing their experiences will change lives, because they have a unique voice that people need to hear, because we have graduate students who will benefit literally because they took the time to spend with us. So again, family, this is the template for an invitation. You want to send an email to your participants with as much information as possible. And Pablo had gone over the beginning slide that says, when it is, the nitty gritty, the travel information, and whatnot. Additionally, family, there is some more information here, but this is just the breakdown, right? Introduction, description, invitation. Let us go. So after you have sent that invitation, family, which is basically, it writes itself because you had gone through the back end of filling out the form, you want to give them about 3 to 5 business days. And it's crazy because there are a lot of people who are very, very busy. But you want to allow them, a little bit of time before you go ahead and ask again. So if it has been 3 to 5 business days and you have heard nothing, I would go ahead and follow up with a polite email. Don't be like, where are you? Why haven't I heard from you? Just be like, hello, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I sent an email on this date. I was just checking back with you. Because don't forget, family, it is COVID and we are all very, very busy. Sometimes emails get lost. I had my one of my folders was eating up emails. So please be patient and polite. Addition, securing their confirmation is very important and it should be done via email so you both have a record. So I know sometimes we can get busy and we forget, but making sure that you actually confirm, right? Hey, say Roti and I had dinner last week and I'm like, Roti, come be a panelist for me for my organization next month. And we talk and we're like, yes, this is totally happening. And then before my event, what if I had not confirmed with her via email? Well, the date could get lost, the information could get lost. So making sure I emailed her after talking with her and saying, Roti, I am following up. I offered you a position on this panel. Thank you so much. Please confirm. That is a very necessary step, family, because it lets them know that they said yes. It lets you know that you have someone on the books, and it can save you from miscommunication later on. So again, get an email confirmation, also send them a calendar invite. The more reminders and more information you get it, the easier it will be for everyone. As the date approaches, so right now we are currently preparing for a conference that's going to be happening in April, but there's a lot of time between now and then. Confirming about a month before the event and following up with them is a very polite and easy way for you to maintain your global connections. In addition, if you're using an online system like Zoom, make sure they have the link, make sure they have the access. Some people will say, well, can I just bring a PowerPoint on the thumb drive? You want to make sure that you get those nitty-gritty details out of the way, because as you get closer to the date, people will be worried about travel, people will be worried about other things. So you want to make sure that your presentation goes as smoothly as possible and get your speakers what they need beforehand. Roti, I think this is yours, right?
Yes, I'm back again. So our number step 6 is editing for feedback. So when you are doing all of this, you obviously need the feedback and you have to edit for a better version. So what feedback you required, you need to check the topic again and with your team, with the mentors and all the, like for us, we are sending it to the graduate student council, and when I'm writing, I am discussing with my senior rep. So we are having frequent discussions. So we need to check the topic that sometimes what seems correct to you, maybe you are not getting something which is missing. Some other person will do it, some other person will interpret it in some other way. So that's really helpful. So you need to check the topic if it is really important, if the title is going well with the topic, and then you need to check editing your copy, the proposals, the whole thing that they just showed. So you need to check it again and again, and then the credential check and the contact information check for your guests, their designation, their affiliation. These are all very important. So you need to be sure that these are specific and there is no error, because it's going to be published, and it's really important. So all these things you just need to check back and forth throughout the whole process. You need to be sure that it's giving you proper information and there is no miscommunication. And for our division D5 chat, so and for any program, be sure that you get the permission from your panelists and let them know about advertising, recording, permission, and distribution. So before doing any peer things, before distributing any materials, get the permission from them and be sure they know about everything. So that's all the points about like getting feedback and editing your all materials. And for our AERA graduate student council deadline for the fireside chat, we have 3 deadlines. So for you just need to submit your draft for this fireside chat proposal right now, and the first feedback will be coming on from October 15th to 20th. And then after getting the feedback, you will revise the version and then submit the final version once again. And by October 25, this whole thing will be submitted into the system, into the annual meeting system. And then October 30th is the final deadline to publish, I guess. You can add if I have missed something about the deadline.
That is absolutely correct, sis. So again, family, my apologies. This coyote did a lot crazy lately. So I gave you information that was late. That is my bad, and I'm taking full responsibility. So I begged and pleaded and asked for more time, which they gave us. So remember, family, when you're in a leadership position, always ask for more time because we need it. We're students, honestly. And again, this is labor of love. So if you are currently a division rep, please get those drafts to us as soon as possible. The sooner we get them, the more feedback we can give you, the faster we can get it back to you. But again, the end all be all is October 30th. I have cleared my calendar for that week. I will be there to edit. I will be there to submit. I will be there to call people, to email them, whatever you need me to do. I'm making it up to you, family, and I will work to make sure that your division fireside is successful. But I also know things are chaotic, things are crazy, and it could be October 30th and you're like, I'm done with this. Email it to me and I will take care of it. Or you want to take care of it yourself. We do have access that I can give you as an individual division rep to put in your own proposal. That is not my first choice, family. We would really like to support you and get you some edits, to get you some comments, and actually take that load off and enter it for you. But again, I know that it is a time where we're just trying to get things done. So whatever we can do to make this process more easy for you, more accessible for you, just let us know. And again, send us that email.
And I want to add just one thing for all the all the division reps of our AERA to prepare for this fireside chat. What we did, we are already done with the proposals. So do check the previous folders, previous proposals and emails and everything. And you surely have a shared folder for your division. Do check them, and not only the previous one, like 2021 meeting, do check for the 2022, 2019, all these things, and you will have an idea, and just merge all these idea and give your one. That will be the easiest way.
I love that. That's a great idea, right? Why are we reinventing the wheel? When really we're building off the work of our colleagues. Oh, great idea. Roti, you're awesome. Step 7, family, is submitting your paperwork. So you've gone through everything. You've gone through edits. You've asked other people. You've gotten feedback. You've asked your panelists for support. Now you submit your paperwork. So again, we've looked at the form, and then you literally, right, you've gotten it back. You've gotten your feedback from us. You've looked at it one last time. You drop it in our G folder, family. Or after you drop it in our G folder, please follow up. There is a folder specifically for first drafts and final drafts. So again, put it in the appropriate folder. After you have submitted it to the folder, please email us at gradstudentsaera@gmail.com and let us know. So then I can forward it. As soon as I've gotten the email saying we've gotten a first draft, I will communicate to our amazing leadership / editing team, which is Andy Layton, our amazing chair-elect, Pablo Montes, our senior programming chair, Janelle Grant, who is our amazing junior programming chair, and myself. And we are working on the edits. So as soon as you drop it in there, let us know. We'll get on it. We'll get you that feedback so that you can be done, family. Let's see. All right, final steps, step 7. Okay. Family, this coyote's bad, but I forgot the whole step of how do you invite the panelists. I mean, I know we went over the nitty gritty, like this is the format for the letter, but you want to ask Gloria Latson Billings to your panel. She's a huge name, right? You want to go ask an expert in the field, and it can be intimidating, family. Academia is intimidating. That's when you call on your leadership team, okay? We can send an official email from our Gmail account, and I can send an email on behalf of you as the chair of the association, which also makes me a council member, right, family? And that's, again, why I want people to run for chair, because it's an enormous amount of power that we can use for good, right? We're creating change and advocacy. But if you need help asking those people to be on your panel, go through the channels. Like, go ask whoever's the head of your organization and be like, hey, you're the head of this nonprofit, or hey, you're the head or my advisor for Society of Native American Graduates. On my behalf, can you help me ask this professor? Because unfortunately, family, we know we live in a society that has complexities and intersectionality, and power does mean something. Names mean something. Titles mean something in academia, which is why we're starting the baby steps of our community volunteerism now, right? So run for these positions, because every position you add adds to your experience, and it also gives you position and honor, but it also makes you recognizable, which is power later. So if you have a big wig you want to ask, come ask us for help. We will help you go send that invitation out. In addition, family, the old the ask a friend, right? It literally goes down to, hey, Roti, who do you know in sociology and does education in K-12 classrooms, right? You go to the people around you, ask your other division reps, ask your other mentors, ask your other graduate students, and see who knows who. Because a lot of times too, if you're aiming high, right, you want a keynote speaker that might be the president of the Spencer Foundation, right? Well, they're really hard to get to say yes. Then let's see if we know someone who might be a former student, right? Who might be a former mentee, who might allow us to have an in and might be able to call in a favor. That's how this works, family. That's why we're creating a global family, so that we can provide resources and share for others. So again, my apologies for not putting that in there, but when you're making a big ask, you might get a lot of no's before you get some yeses. But asking for, like your advisors or titled people to put that invitation on your behalf can go a long way sometimes. So I'm just saying, use your tools. Let's go to the next one. Okay, final steps the day of and thank yous. So don't forget, make sure your speakers have access to the event and all the details. Make sure you personally arrive early to greet them. Also, don't forget, literally, family, every time we have an event, I make a list and I try not to forget everyone when I say my thank yous, both at the event when I thank them in person. And also, family, later, I know we're crazy and we're stressed, but within a week of the event, you want to send them a thank you email. This coyote's working on that too, family. I sent my thank yous a month late, but it was COVID, to be honest. It was COVID. But you want to be more timely than me. Hashtag res time is real. But you want to also make sure that you have taken a moment to say thank you so much, because their donation of their time and expertise to our community is so wonderful. It's a foundation, literally, of why we became educators. We want to help people. We want to share knowledge. We want to create community. We want to make the world a better place. And we will do it together, family. Don't forget, although we are currently trying to secure honorariums and conference, which have not been guaranteed at this moment, thank yous are always appreciated. So if you could provide them with any sort of thank you, they would greatly appreciate that. So don't forget, we all want to make sure that we're successful. We would love to see you on our superhero team. Email us at gradstudents@aera.gmail.com. Come visit our website at aera.net. Thank you so much to our fellow host, Roti. You are a superstar. Pablo, who had to leave us because he is on the job market, family. If you need an amazing researcher, he does queer research, ceremony, indigenous healing. He is amazing. And he literally, he got the Spencer Fellow, family. He's a badass, I'm just saying. So he is on the job market. We send our love and support. Roti, I am going to say she is amazing, family. She has been my co-chair for not one, but two amazing events. She planned from beginning to end, which is why I asked her to be part of this training. The panel we had highlighting international graduate student experience during COVID. Roti, I'm going to let you go ahead and be, shout out about your amazing work and tell people what you do. But real quick before that, thank you so much to Badut Achara, who is always our superhero. He is our IT staff member at AERA family. He is always making sure that we get recorded, that we get people registered for our webinar, and he's always working late because we're in a different time zone. So thank you, sir. Thank you again to Nathan Bell, who is also our liaison at AERA, and all of our amazing academics and everyone who supports our family. Roti, I'm gonna let you talk about how awesome you are before we go.
Thank you so much, Dee, and thank you so much for considering me a part of this program today. So it's really nice whenever I talk to you, whenever I talk to all of my family members of AERA. So I just look forward all of us to have a discussion with you all. So if I want to say about something about me something, so yeah, as I said that I'm right now I'm a third year doctoral student, and my major is educational measurement, research, and statistics. So my research interests are basically classroom assessment and teachers assessment practice. So I'm focusing on educational assessment, teachers assessment practice, and students learning. So, and hopefully I'm going to take the comprehensive exam next semester. Maybe, I'm not sure, but hopefully. And I'm gradually approaching to the end of my doctoral study, and I'm enjoying it. So that's all about my academic life. And here, like, I'm blessed that I got your mentorship. It means a lot. It means a lot. Like, you are super active and super awesome mentor. Like, whenever I'm emailing you, I know that I'm going to get a response, and it's huge. This comfort zone is huge. So, and as we mentioned that we are organizing a webinar series, I would like to say, on international student. So our first webinar, it was on July, right? It was on July, in July. And we talked about, we had awesome panelists. We had 3 members, 3 doctoral students. And we talked about international students experience during pandemic, because that's a huge issue that I guess that I myself is an international student, and I can feel that we went through this issue. So we had an awesome discussion. We learned a lot of things. And we planned that to have some more topics, discussions, webinars on international students too. So if you have any idea, just jump in, share with us that, yeah, this is the idea we can work on. We will start working on it. And hopefully this semester we are planning to have 1 webinar per semester, considering all our workloads, coursework, which is mandatory. We can't avoid that. So that was for summer, and we are about to start planning our next one for this fall. Hopefully we will launch something. So that's it, because I know Dre is doing awesome as our chair, and she is a doctoral candidate already. And I am at the, like, this semester is officially the ending of my coursework, the official one before comes. So that's why I'm also going through a lot of pressure, but hopefully we'll coming soon with something exciting for you all. So till then, stay tuned with us, jumping into the work, join AERA, and that's all. And just if you have any question, you will find all the contact information on AERA website. Just search that, email us. We would love to answer anything you want.
Thank you so much, family. And again, thank you to our audience for coming out. Our division reps were there, or some of our campus and SIG reps were there. We appreciate you, family. Have a good night.
Good night.